Hey, welcome in to Lone Peak Fieldhouse for Lone Peak Girls Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. Dusty Lister, Hector Marquez, Kenzie Valentine with you as we have it's repeat of week one. We're in the second half of region play. Hector, the season's flying by, and for PG, you may look at their record and be underwhelmed, but this team is young, and they have an outstanding young sophomore.
Yeah, Tabby Clark, her size, her scoring ability, she's going to be a handful. She really needs to get going. Lone Peak's obviously going to be focused on her a little bit, but if she can go off, I mean, anything could happen for PG. I mean, Lone Peak's tough, but Tabby Clark's got to have a big game to pull off this upset.
And normally anybody who tunes into Lone Peak games knows I'm going to talk about Shawnee Nordstrom, but the star of this team really throughout the year and one of the surprise players to me in all of 6A is Naya Tanuvasa.
I agree. I think she's the best two-way player in the state. She defends probably better than anyone. I guarantee you they're going to match her up against Tabby Clark. I expect Lone Peak to maybe come out in the zone like they have the past couple of games and then switch up to man later. But Tanuvasa is a stud.
Well, let's bring in Kenzie Valentine. Kenzie, we had a chance to go talk to Nancy Warner real quick. Give us a couple of notes when we learned from Nancy.
After hearing from Coach Warner, she said that there's not anything that they're looking to adjust specifically for the game tonight. All they want to do is just play together. They're confident that they're heading in the right direction, and they're locking in defensively.
The defense been the big thing to Coach Nancy Warner. Said, hey, we'll score the ball. I love her line to us. The offense will take care of itself. We've got to play defense, especially with the state tournament just over a month away. Actually, we're in February. What am I doing? We're inside of a month.
It's crazy that there's only a few weeks left of basketball.
Double dribble. Yeah, she got the steal, took a dribble, picked it up, and then took the dribble. It's almost like double dipping your chip.
She just wanted to play a little bit more defense.
Yeah.
I think.
And only in girls do you see like, oh, I didn't mean to. Because boys would be arguing they didn't do it. As Kennedy Wilson sends up top, Naya Tanuvasa. Naya gives it up. Here's Kennedy, 4-3. And if she hits an early three, Hector, I mean, you could have an avalanche.
Yep. Open looks for any Woolston in the building is going to go down. I'll tell you that.
I don't remember if the BYU girls are out of town or not, because Kaylee will come walking in here momentarily if she's in town. She doesn't miss a home game. Actually, miss any game.
I mean, it's crazy. She's a freshman, finds herself on the floor at BYU and one of the best shooters in the country.
In the country. And you'd say, like, yeah, free throws. But no, it's three-point percentage.
Yep.
Been stroking it.
And it's awesome to see in girls basketball, fast break, she pulls up for three, and she still shoots from a high percentage.
Well, the funny thing is everyone else thought it was going to be a different freshman that would be the star at the Y. And then they kind of overlooked Kaylee, and Kaylee came in and just does what Kaylee does.
Yeah. And I know I talked to one of their strength and training coaches as Nordstrom.
Shotton, she missed that one. Bartholomew at the board and bucket, speaking of BYU.
But yeah, the BYU trainer said that the difference is that these girls are coming in and they're hitting the weights, and that's why they can get on the floor right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And a quick 5-0 start to Lone Peak as Tuisoa throws that one in the backcourt, taken away by Tanuvasa. Naya scoops it up and in.
This is kind of how their first meeting started a little bit here. And Tanuvasa did get a steal like that, and they just went on a run.
You were there, and you just want to come grab a microphone, Hector?
No, I was actually streaming it. I needed to do my homework.
Oh, the kiss in, a three there for Amber Cook. Banked it off the window.
Yeah, the last few games, Lone Peak has been in that zone defense to start the game.
Wow. Sarah, I mean, that's where you see some of the development there from Sarah. A couple years ago, she probably would have grabbed that reset, put it back up and in, able to play a little more on the fly.
It just shows that she has those soft hands that can finish in traffic.
Ball goes outside. Evans misses on the three. Rebound goes out to Sarah Newman. Throws it back inside. Clark can't get it, and the rebound to Bartholomew. Quickly on the run with Kennedy. Ooh. Kaylee Rich back out. Kennedy Woolston. Second three. Barely even moved the net on that one.
She hit one wide open, and she hit one on, and it just caused PG to call a timeout, and I don't blame Coach for that.
Timeout, Coach Lacey Larson. 5:29 left in the first quarter. You're watching Lone Peak Girls Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network. And welcome back into Lone Peak Girls Basketball presented by HanuWear.com. I want to thank HanuWear.com for their support of Lone Peak Girls Basketball. Also, SRV Heating and Air. Proud supporters of Lone Peak Girls Basketball and the Rewind Sports Network. Well, out of time out there for Coach Lacey Larson. And really just trying to stem the momentum of Lone Peak. Cross court, Cook for three, yes. Second three of the quarter for Amber Cook.
She's got to cook some more if they need to stay in this game.
She's got to let the, and turnover. Tanavasa and Shawnee not on the same page there.
I would feed Cook again. Let's heat check her.
Absolutely. Have you let the bread rise before you put it in the oven? You know, that's kind of the biggest thing with the Cook.
Yep.
There goes Amber. Goes at Tanuvasa. Terminates, feeds that ball inside to Clark. That's a tough spot to put her in down the block. Out of bounds off of Lone Peak. You got guards who always do that little short little bounce pass to a big. I mean, that's a long way for them to get down there to get to that ball.
I don't know what that's like, but I hear that it is tough for the big people to go down there and get things.
It's where you still have to just show John Stockton highlights to people. Angular pass there was no, but it's also angular in that where the guy's hands. That ball was taken away. Here's Tanavasa on the run. The All-State soccer player stepped through, floated up, no. Rebound, put back up and in by Sarah Bartholomew.
It's got to be tough. You kind of get a semi-stop, and then Bartholomew goes in there and cleans things up.
And she has done that in region play. Lone Peak played an extremely tough non-region schedule. There's a block by Bartholomew. Send it back out. Tuya Soa off on the three. Sarah saves it in. The right to Newman. Cook, a little short-range shot, and she has 8 points.
PG's hanging tough here. That swarming defense from Lone Peak is just hard to score on.
And Hector, I know you were there, that Monterey.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun.
Man.
That Monterey Lone Peak game is one of the funnest. Well, that or the Sierra County game the year before. As Tanuvasa lips out the triple. But you can see one of the best players I think I've seen in person.
You know what? Basketball. Everyone asked me, like, who's the best player you've seen this year? And Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
And Aaliyah Chavez.
Aaliyah Chavez is unreal. I mean, I got to see Juju last year, and she was really good as a fall away from Nordstrom won't go. The rebound to Woolston. Katie Lawrence out to Tanavasa.
I've just never seen a girl get triple teamed and quadruple teamed and still score. That was insane.
To me, it was the handles to the shot, because it was very Steph Curry-ish.
Yeah,
the dribbles, and it was right into it.
And you just don't see girls manipulate the basketball like the boys.
Beautiful take and make there by Shawnee.
And Shawnee does have a little bit of that wiggle to her.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Chavez.
Whole different level.
Yeah, I was sitting next to all the D1 coaches, and they were laughing, giggling, and smiling because they were all part of her top 10. McDonald's All-American voter was sitting down there, and he's like, she's probably third best player regardless of class right now across the country.
Well, luckily the coaches from Lubbock made the trip to Utah to watch the girl from Lubbock as Shawnee shockingly misses the free throw. Bartholomew misses the bunny. Ball still loose. Here's Shawnee. Power dribble, turn around off the window.
She is so good at those little putbacks.
I'm going to really miss watching Shawnee Nordstrom play high school basketball. It has been so much fun. I mean, we remember her as a freshman at Bingham, and then since her sophomore year at Lone Peak, one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, she's not going too far, though. She's staying in California. Not too far for us. We got to get a road trip for KSL Rewind.
We should figure that one out. I'm heading out in the morning, thanks to my in-laws. We're be on our way there. I was trying to figure out a way to keep her in state. It didn't quite pan out the way we wanted to.
Yeah, I guess you got to drop a big enough bag for her on the front door of her house.
Well, USU Eastern wasn't exactly in her plans. As Bartholomew reverse side, and it doesn't go for Sarah.
I don't know how much NIL money is at USUE.
No, I mean, Morgan Warburton didn't make that much in the WNBA. There's the foul on the drive there for Tabby Clark. We talked about Tabby at the beginning of the broadcast. So this girl, we saw in this, it was the second half in the Lone Peak game that she got going. It was kind of the same situation where they couldn't quite get her going in the first half. In the second half, Tabby had an outstanding game.
You just got to stay relentless. I think she's got to start hunting a little bit. It's still early in the game, but you can't get behind against Lone Peak.
Ball goes inside, back out now straight away with Cook for 3 off to the left, and the rebound to Kennedy Wilson. How about the big board there for Kennedy on the run? Tanuvasa, little hezzy, down the baseline, and the triple, I don't know what to call that, ponytail. That's her look.
It is, and it's I've seen it kind of trend around the state a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if she started it or not.
First one I remember seeing it. She went with a bun a couple weeks ago, and it really threw me off. I couldn't remember that it was Naya. Tanuvasa goes into Cook. Nice job of staying in front. Saved in by Kennedy. Zuri out to Kaylee. Now it's Shawnee for 3. Crawls off. Zuri Nordstrom gets the board. A little pocket pass to Kaylee. Rich, no. And another extra possession, no. Possession arrow belongs to Pleasant Grove.
Pleasant Grove has been stuck on 8 points here for the past couple of minutes here. This zone defense is just the 2 top guards, Nordstrom and Tanuvasa, can cover a lot of ground, and when you have Bartholomew or Rich patrolling the middle, it just makes it really tough.
Absolutely. But the thing is that defense travels even to the Huntsman Center. The 3 on the way is a little long, or probably long 2, a little long, taken by Kennedy Woolston. They'll be at the Huntsman Center in 3 weeks. Shawnee, that one's off to the left. You can see it off her hand. Zuri saves it in to Naya. Kaylee Rich. High-low into Shawnee Nordstrom. We don't see that very often.
Her defender had 2 inches on her, and she still posted her up.
She does have very long arms. You can see it. Little go-go gadget arms on that one.
And speaking of the Huntsman Center, man, those Utes are scoring a ton of points. So hopefully we get some high-scoring games in state as well.
Curtains go up, so the scoring is Naya Tanuvasa runs the floor. It gets easy, too. And good to see local boy Brendan Carlson have an outstanding senior year.
He is huge for them coming back. But they got a few local boys on that team. It's kind of nice, and they're going to have a few more coming soon. But, you know, Coach Smith's doing a great job over there.
Ball slapped away on the take, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. And at the end of one, it is the Lone Peak Knights 24, the Pleasant Grove Vikings 8. You're watching Lone Peak Girls Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. Start of the second quarter, Dusty Lister, Hector Marquez with you. As Lone Peak got out quick. I mean, you got 4 players, all at 6 points. Shawnee Nordstrom, Tanuvasa, Woolston, and Bartholomew. That is a quad 6 for all their points.
I mean, they only got 8 players on the roster.
Right.
So I think they're doing pretty good right now. We got to get those other kids on the roster too, on the scoreboard.
You know, the funny thing is that you have some coaches get mad about, well, you don't take the dogs out. It's like, well, they have 8 players on the roster. Like, what version of dogs would you like off the floor?
I mean, you're going to get mad at the subs they put into?
Right. As Woolston knocks down her third 3 of the half. Just a sophomore, Kennedy Woolston.
And committed to BYU.
Yeah. There's a steal ahead to Naya Tanuvasa. Naya lays it up and in. I'm just waiting for the Woolston Sisters podcast, like the New Heights. So let's call it the Lone, what could they call it? Alpine Heights or something?
Yeah. I mean, do you guys remember the Kafusis when they had their little thing going over at BYU?
Yeah.
Woolstons are going to take over soon.
The Woolstons, you had McChesney's. Just speaking of Lone Peak, McChesney brothers were at BYU at the same time for a while, and they've had it a few times. You didn't get Nick and Jackson Emery there at the same time. There's a little gap there. And the Haas brothers. You didn't get Tyler and TJ.
Yeah, BYU's had a pretty good family connection going on there for quite a few years.
Tried to talk TJ into playing his freshman year so he could play with Tyler. He wasn't into it. So there's a traveling violation.
Checking into the Vikings, number 13, Tabby Clark.
The one thing that's been impressive about Lone Peak is a lot of people could have panicked with the schedule that they had earlier this year. I mean, but they're sticking with it. Nancy's made a few adjustments with the roster, who's starting, who's coming off the bench, and they're just rolling right now in region play.
Well, what she wanted was a Kennedy just to stay confident. Is Kaylee Rich with the board and bucket, and I asked her about Kennedy. I said, it seems like she's kind of getting her own. She's like, well, no, I think it's confident. She's like, it's just get her getting into rhythm. She's trying to find a rhythm. She's like, I just need her to be tougher to defend, and you see that in this here in region play. She's kind of figured it out, and But that was such a tough schedule. You go play IMG, you're playing Monterey, you play, I mean, you name the teams that, they played DeSoto. St. Paul's loose.
I mean, I think they had Copper Hills come in here.
Copper Hills, Ridgeline.
Yep.
When they were still trying to figure out who they were. So a full timeout, we'll take it as well. 6.5 left in the first half. Oh, no, 30 seconds. We'll keep it here. Remind you what's going on our schedule here with KSL Sports Rewind. It's a full schedule tonight. We have the early game, so if you're tuning in, trying to find some games, well, there's what's going on. We have Hector and I will have the doubleheader here tonight at Pleasant Grove. We got Westlake at Sky Ridge, Fremont at Davis, Alta at Highland, and Copper Hills at Bingham. That Copper Hills Bingham game is going to be interesting, the boys' game, because both of them have had their moments. I love Ty West. I said Ty West.
Luke
West. Ty West is a football player from St. George. But Luke West has been so good. And the guy that kind of gets lost there is Stockton.
Stockton Tuller. Love Stockton Tuller. He just brings a different dynamic to the game. You never know what he's going to do. But, yeah, Luke West, he's a stud. Glad to see him healthy and playing a lot this year. But, yeah, you're right. That Bingham Copper Hills game is going to be a toss-up for sure.
Well, it's interesting. Last week I had the Copper Hills game on Friday night. They were up 14 points at Harriman, and Harriman came back to get them.
I know we were tracking that game while we were calling the Westlake Lone Peak game, and we were like, no way.
Judenfield in the gym is Shawnee Nordstrom off on the 3. Rebound to Rich. Back out Kennedy. Back rims to triple. Another offensive board. That's her 4th board of the half for Kaylee Rich. Kennedy, nice little ball fake, finds the cutting Bartholomew. And Sarah left it a little strong. Love to see her just turn her hand over a little bit.
She could have dunked it too. She was. Nope, that was a really great cut, really great find. She just missed it.
Would you teach that right at the rim? Just go with more of the finger roll look instead of the overhand?
I guess it depends. Like, how many reps are we getting at that? So, at the end of the day, coach just wants you to make it, whether you use right hand, left hand, 2 hands, whatever. So I'm sure Nancy's probably going like, just make the freaking basket.
Just put it in, yeah. But a big night tonight. We'll have the boys game coming up next. It'll be a packed house for that one. PG Lone Peak's always a great atmosphere, no matter which gym it's in.
I was talking to some of the PG coaches, and they guaranteed me that they're going to shoot a few threes in the game.
Randy McAllister, he's a daring man right there.
I have to say, I've seen PG play a few times this year. They're going to break the record for most threes attempted in a season.
Far. And in Randy's last year, to have the smallest team he has ever had, man, what a way to go out with a bang.
I know.
Is Nordstrom leaves it for Woolston. Kennedy going to float it up. No. Saved back in by Kennedy to Zuri. Cross court, Kaylee Rich. Good defense. She read where she was going, took away from her. Extra pass, Zuri Nordstrom. Short, Bartholomew has the board. Can't get the little putback to go. Rebound out of bounds off of PG. We'll say it won't be.
I don't know if you've noticed, like every time Lone Peak goes up, they always have 1 or 2 players running at the rim.
Yeah.
And they're tracking the ball really well. So that's why they're killing on the boards right now.
For the Vikings, number 24 checks in.
Amber Cook comes back in for Melee Tuyosoa. Inside. And there's Bartholomew on the reverse.
Great move. I mean, there's nothing you could do on that one. If you foul her, she's already up in motion, going to make it and one.
Boyer works that one around to Lily Evans. Drop it inside. Off the window. A little too strong there to catch Connors. Board and foul. Going to be 2 free throws to Clark.
And PG's been stuck on 8 points for quite a while here. Hopefully these free throws can get Tabby Clark going.
I'd say the 8 point, well, all 8 points are to Cook.
Yeah, she had a couple of threes and a jumper.
Yeah, and that was about 4.5 minutes left in the first, and there's the first point since that part of the game, and that's where Nancy will be happy with the lead. But her pride is going to be, hey, we're playing good defense.
Yeah, and even though they're giving up an offensive board there, she probably saying, hey, you got to do your assignment, go find a body. But you got to be pleased with a 33-10 lead with 4 minutes to go in the game.
High post to Woolson, back into Sarah, left hand, no, and then she's going to get caught with the loose ball foul on Bartholomew.
She's missed 3 or 4 of those right
Yes,
there.
she has. So maybe getting a little winded. Here comes Naya Tanuvasa.
These kids never get tired. They're not winded.
Hey, one of my Dane's and my favorite quotes in anything, legs feed the wolves.
Yeah. Lone Peak in the man now.
Cook goes at Wilson, got inside. Oh, couldn't get that one. The rebound and putback a little too strong, maybe tipped as well. Zuri Nordstrom with the board on the run. Shawnee got the commitment, give it up to Tanuvasa. Naya too sharp off the square. The steal to Zuri, and Zuri lays it up and in. The young freshman, Zuri Nordstrom.
Tabby got stuck. She had a bunch of people open, but Lone Peak was swarming over here with 4 players in the backcourt.
And Cook, traveling violation before the shot. Right now, if it can go a little squeaky, it's going squeaky for Pleasant Grove. Nothing's going just fluidly.
And coach is trying to put a lot of players in, see if they can find a combination that's working. So right now they're in the 2-3 zone, hoping to get stops. The problem is that Lone Peak rebounds so well. So these girls just have to find a body in the zone.
Rebound well, and they move the ball side to side really well. Not shown at that point. The ball got stuck in the corner. It's interesting to watch the ball get stuck in the corner sometimes and just how you almost get players lost in an island. Katie Lawrence really had nowhere to go with the ball.
She's in for Cash Collins.
Back over to Naya.
Overload.
Oh, extra pass. Naya Tanuvasa for 3. She's done that for 3 years.
It's funny because you can see the play developing from up top, and you don't see PG shifting, so you knew they were going to get something real easy on that overload set.
Clark on the baseline, finds Newman, and it comes off. Sarah's so frustrated. Jump ball, possession arrow will keep it with PG. Man, is that regulation size or what?
There's a cap on it. There's a cap on it over on the PG side.
Inbound in to Clark. Clark goes at Tanuvasa. Naya challenged on the shot. Loose ball in the hands of Newman. And she's going to be fouled by Shawnee Nordstrom off the rebound. It'll be on the floor. But that is the 15th foul, and to be 2 free throws now in the bonus for Pleasant Grove.
And they got to take advantage of it and just attack, try to get on the board. It looks like the officials are trying to keep it clean down there, so they're going to get some foul calls.
I think Mr. Official doesn't realize, well, maybe they put it up so quick. No, it was on 3. So they hadn't posted it yet.
I think they're trying to figure out who the shooter is.
Been 35. She's waiting at the line. You know, sometimes they just ask the 4th official.
I think it's only 4 fouls, so it's not.
Well, they said they just hadn't posted it yet.
They were debating if whether it was on the ground or on the shot.
But at the 5th team foul will be the 2 free throws. It's the 5th team foul. They need to buzz it.
Yeah. Yeah, PG coach is all over it.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate.
Shawnee on the drive, and a possession that should have had 2 free throws ends up in 2 points to Lone Peak.
Not a lot going right for PG right now in this half.
Like the wonderful, faithful people that cross the desert, just look up.
See, but I don't think it's I don't think they can fix it after the
yeah,
fact.
they played through. No, it played through and had points. Like it should have been double bonus, and it is double bonus. And here's the other part. It's not Lone Peak's job to make sure the officials get it right.
I mean, there's 3 of them.
Right, and none of them looked up at the board.
So one of them's got to come check at the
And the
on
funny
the
thing
table.
is that the board on the left of the arena does not have fouls on it. It's only the one on the right that has the stats and they all looked up at the one on the left.
Yeah. I mean,
you can't take off the points, right?
I mean, I guess they can correct it and let them shoot free throws. That's kind of strange.
But then you got to know how much time is left on the clock.
Yeah.
They are going to bring it back to the free throws.
Wow.
So then are you going to reset the clock is the question.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to let her shoot. I've never seen this happen.
I have never.
An official correcting their mistake.
Moments later after a basket's already made. Because thinking like in football and with reviews, hey, when the play's over, we can't review it.
Once you snap the football.
Yeah. When the play starts, like it's over. So I'll be reaching out to some officials. We have a new Rewind the podcast is getting started. And we've been kind of testing things out. And one of the things we're going to bring back is, or bring into it is a official review segment with Courtney Littledyke. And have him go through it. And this is what I'm going to ask him. Courtney, here's the situation. You had a fifth foul. They didn't shoot the bonus free throws. They inbounded the ball. It was stolen and scored by the defending team who give up the fifth foul. What do you do? And I'm very curious what his answer is.
I don't think it's correctable because it's after the fact. I saw some of the boys officials walk by. They're actually pretty good ones for the next game. I would have ran over and asked one.
If I catch your eye contact, I can get them up here. We always have officials during the state tournament. We have them come sit with us for this very reason, so I'm not just yammering away. But they are putting time back on the clock. So if she's shooting free throws and they're keeping the bus. Yeah, they haven't changed the scoreboard. So they're allowing the bucket and now the fouls. The free throws.
And it's going to be a live free throw here, too. You'd think if it was maybe they'd get the ball back or something, but.
And they're saying empty keyed free throws.
Yeah, see, they're going to call it like a dead ball, and PG's probably going to get the ball back here.
Well,
I think I just heard the official say it was a correctable error.
okay. Correctable error, but she shot the first one with a full key.
I know. Yeah.
We're kind of missing some of the.
They're going to shoot 2 more free throws again the right way. They're going to get PG back in this game, whether you like it or not.
No, and I'll tell you what I mean. Say it is like, hey, let's just get it functioning right? Let's just carry it out. But I love an explanation.
Well,
in football, they give the explanation.
Lone Peak ended up going back to the zone that held PG to 8 points, so we'll see what PG does now.
Outside, Tuiasoa. Tuiasoa sends that ball back out. Good defense. She's open for 3. No. Rebound tipped out. Tracked down by Tanuvasa. Naya on the run. Kennedy with her. Naya to Kennedy. Good defense. Got in front. Wilson throws it off at Newman. And we'll keep it here with Lone Peak.
Lone Peak's got to be one of the better teams that can rebound and fast break off of a miss. I don't think – I know Copper Hills can get up and down the floor. Lone Peak just does it really well.
I'm so curious if Copper Hills can beat them a second time in the state tournament setting as Shawnee Nordstrom gets a floater to go on the baseline.
It's interesting because there's a few teams that match up well with Lone Peak, but they can't get past the second half. It's like they put together a first and second quarter, third quarter rolls along, and then Lone Peak just kind of puts their foot on the pedal and they take off.
And I didn't get a chance to ask, and that ball's tipped away and stolen. Here comes Tanuvasa. Naya right to the rim, too strong. Rebound to Bartholomew, and Sarah is fouled. Put her at the line to shoot 2. And the rematch of Sky Ridge Lone Peak is on Tuesday. I'm out of town. I wanted to ask Shaylee, I guess I could just text her about Canterbury Blackham and Mealy, if they expect them to come back for the state tournament.
Yeah, that's tough. That's
some
big-time players.
I haven't been able to ask, right? And I remember Canterbury injured herself. It was like shortly after the state tournament, if I remember. We were doing our awards.
Yeah.
She came and got an award right after her surgery.
I'm not trying to tell people how to beat Lone Peak at all, but you got to throw something at them that makes them think. Like, you can't just throw a regular 2-3 at them. They're going to be
Right.
ready for that. You can't throw a 1-2-2. They're going to throw it down low. Like, what can you do that they're not expecting and hope they have a bad game and you have a really good one?
Right. Well, the interesting thing is, and I did the Ridgeline game when they lost to Ridgeline and snapped the streak. And with Ridgeline, obviously, Skinner.
Yeah.
The Skinner wasn't majorly offensive that night. It was a low-scoring game. The Copper Hills game was a low-scoring game. Copper Hills matches up well because they're so long. There's a steal by Shawnee Nordstrom. Shawnee right to the rim, and the foul wave off the bucket called on the floor.
I would
the
have
second team
counted
foul,
it.
the PG.
I mean, Ridgeline can match up with anyone, with like Elise Livingston and Macy Brown, and that's the thing that they pose a problem to like a team like Lone Peak, is that they can match up athletically
Right.
with them, and that's what Copper Hills kind of does.
And
I
length
mean,
at the top, right?
yeah, Copper Hills has what?
Marston and-
Every girl on their team's like 5'10", 5'11".
Right.
Oh, they do bring a tiny little girl in. What's her name? Loza is her last
I
name.
haven't got to see them live yet.
She's like 5'2". I was at their game last night. She hit a dagger 3 in the corner.
Kind of how Tafisi was when she was a freshman.
Yeah.
at Copper Hills.
Yep.
Inside. Oh, nice
Wow.
find from Shawnee. Oh, Kennedy can't get that little chippy to go. And what Lone Peak was going for there was the 35-point barrier, which would be a running clock the entire second half. With Tabby Clark. 2 possessions left in the half, and Shawnee shot her shot. Draws the foul, trying to get the bucket to put it at 35 points. It's going to put Newman at the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, there's a few other teams too. You got Davis, Kendrick Kitchens playing having an incredible year. You have Syracuse playing really well. I mean, hey, anything could happen in state.
It is one of those crazy things. I'd like to see Grantsville get a shot at someone, because Grantsville beat Syracuse.
Grantsville's
really
good.
good.
That Bailey Louder girl's good. Avery Allred's good. I don't know what's going on over in Grantsville, but they got some hoopers.
And it's been a run, right? Because you had the white girl for a long time that had an outstanding run. My Carbon Dinos have been good until Tuesday night and lose to stinking Richfield.
Richfield's having a good year.
I know, their only loss was to Carbon.
Yeah.
And we get them at their gym. They come up to the Carbon Dino den, and we drop one.
Have you been to that new Richfield, the new Richfield?
The South Sevier Center?
Yeah,
I haven't been there. I've heard about it.
It's nice.
The nicest gym in the state.
American Heritage?
Close. That's the coolest setting.
Yeah.
With the windows. Delta.
Delta's awesome. They got that stadium seating.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
the wrestling team. That wasn't for the basketball team. That was for the wrestling program in the day.
Yeah, I heard Delta was a force back in the
Dome.
day.
I was part of the team that snapped a 35-year streak. As the 3 is good from Shawnee Nordstrom, and it's at 35 points. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, won't get the shot off, and that is how the half ends. Lone Peak 47, Pleasant Grove 12. You're watching Lone Peak Girls Basketball on the Rewind Sports Network, presented by HanuWare.com. And welcome back into Knight Fieldhouse. Dusty Lister, Hector Marquez. Interesting situation. Lone Peak up 47-12. It'll be continuously running clock, only stopping for free throws the entire second half. But Hector, that first half was everything that Nancy Warner would want from her team. Played efficient offense, but they played smothering defense.
And the crazy part is, if you look at the offensive end, how many layups did Bartholomew miss point blank? This game could be in the 70s.
Right.
With those few bunnies that they missed.
It kind of been the story of the night because there have been multiples. It kind of been there. Left a lot of points. If you looked at the shot chart, it'd be a lot of red around the rim that you'd be stunned by. There's so many second chance opportunities as well. As Newman drives at Wilson, got stuck, turns that over to Tanuvasa. Naya.
Ooh.
That's the thing. You coach basketball, you coach the AAU. It's the old John Wooden fast break doesn't exist anymore. It used to be they hit this angle and you're angling to the rim. Now it's that little float to the corner where Shawnee kind of got stuck in between. There's no angle there anymore.
There isn't, and most kids are running to the corners to space things out, and then it lets the person dribbling the ball make a decision: do I take it or do I kick it? And on that occasion, Tanuvasa might have just kept that one.
Yeah.
But she'll make up for it.
Naya all the way to the rim. Clark right there with her, and Tanuvasa. That had been a foul in the NBA, and I love it. It's a no call on the high school level. LeBron would still be laying on the floor.
Yeah, he probably would be holding his face. And
I mean, it's a 37-point game. We'll be good about it. But, yeah, the whole thing the other night was unreal in Houston.
yeah, but I mean, LeBron's what, like 50-something, and he's still playing? I don't
can't
know how
say
old
that.
he is.
He's younger than me, so I can't make jokes about that as Cook.
To me, the
that way.
craziest thing is that he's playing against guys' sons that he played against.
As Shawnee Nordstrom lays it in. I remember LeBron's first nationally televised game. Jay Billis still had hair.
Wow.
And Jay wasn't even the main call. He was the floor reporter, the field reporter.
I remember when LeBron didn't have hair, and now he's got hair again.
That's just good. That's good genes. That's
Yeah.
like Deion.
He's living right.
Yeah, it's like Deion Sanders. Deion, I love that Deion just does promotions for it now. As Cook will inbound. She had 8 points in the first quarter. Has not scored since. It's just amazing to think that PG only scored 4 points in the second quarter. That's how good the Lone Peak D was in that frame.
They just can't seem to get by anybody.
Try to get that into Cook, and now you're going to have the reach-in foul. Oh, they're stopping the clock.
Foul committed by number 3, Shawnee Nordstrom. Her second personal.
They didn't get the running clock memo.
We missed the, and I'm not knocking anybody, but we missed the double bonus free throws. But right now the clock just is continuously running. But that's also up to the officials. The officials are the clock keepers.
They don't want to go home.
They feel like they got to earn their day, right?
I guess, yeah. Or they got a bunch of chores to do at home they're not trying to come home to.
I'm leaving on a trip in the morning. Trust me. We're going to triple overtime tonight. As that ball goes in, I'm joking because I'm sure my wife's watching. Sarah Bartholomew lays that up and in.
You going anywhere fun?
We're going to the happiest place on earth.
Nice. So you stand in the lines, right?
Well, I used to be able to get around it, Hector. You don't know. I haven't gone because they ruined it for all of us who understood how to get around that place. They ruined it for all of us. As Cook can't get that one to go and Bartholomew with the rebound. We used to get around it. You wouldn't wait in the line. You might wait 5 minutes the whole weekend.
Recently?
Not recently. Not since they made all the changes. As that one laid in by Kaylee Rich. So now, it's my first time going with this nonsense.
I got a trick for you that I'll tell you off the air.
Oh, I can't wait. I have another one, too. I have to go smear some people. I can't wait to hear your trick.
I grew up in Southern California, so.
3 from Cook doesn't go. Yeah, I had a whole system. I'll tell you that one, too. It worked great. There's Wilson on the run out. Shawnee Nordstrom off on the 3. The rebound to Tanuvasa. Naya power dribble, try to scoop it under Clark, can't get it. And a rebound to Cook. But we're just over 3 weeks away from the state tournament. It's the most disjointed state tournament we've ever had. As Clark misses back rim in that it is the 24th through the 1st. And you heard me right. The 24th is Saturday. 5A will play Saturday. 6A plays Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We have Championship Friday, a bye day on Leap Day.
That's wild.
Because there's not an available arena. So anyway, timeout on the floor. 4:06. We'll be right back. 4:06 left in the third. Dusty Lister, Hector Marquez, Kenzie Valentine. The Kenzie Valentine show will be coming up at the conclusion of this game. Making her return. There's a steal taken back by Katie Lawrence. Katie can't get that one. And the rebound cleared by PG.
Viewership's probably going to go up after the broadcast, probably.
I think so, yeah. And Kenzie doesn't know. She's going to be on camera, too, so it'll all work out. She's gone from just intern Kenzie to now Kenzie. She was Jeff Hansen's bane of his existence on Friday nights because she's a big-time Ute fan. Soon to be a graduate from the University of Utah. As their turnover, that's off of PG, and will be, it's okay. We're up. But we still haven't got the clock figured out. That really is irritating me, Hector. It bugs me.
If you want, I could hold the fort down. You could go start the clock.
Well, the problem is I usually bring it up to them and they give you like a really snappy answer back. And it's like, look, I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I'm just, the rule's a rule's a rule. And I'm not even that big of a rule follower.
Speaking of rules, like I wish they would just play some of those games at local high schools if we can't get a stadium.
Well, so let's go through that. They couldn't get an arena because the University of Utah plays at home in the middle of the state tournament. So does BYU. So does Weber State. And so me doing what I do, I go look at the Jazz schedule, and the Jazz are gone. They're gone the whole week of the state tournament. I shot a text to someone that I know that could make it available. He was up for it. Oh, there's a kiss off the window. And Lily Evans hits the three. He was like, let's do it. And then I decide to go look at the schedule of the arena, not just of the team, and it's Disney on Ice. Wow, Thursday and Friday. So you couldn't do it anyway.
They got the Maverick Center, right? Can you throw a court on there?
I don't know if they have the court anymore. We haven't had it there forever. They used to have the old one, and it was, by the time it was done there, it was done. It would have been like playing in the old Boston Garden floor.
Would Utah State not work, you think?
So I think the answer would be move 4A to either St. George or Utah State. But 4A boys and girls are at UVU, which would be an amazing setting for.
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at Slick either. But either way, that's what the Activity Association is there for. They put together the parties. As the three is good, as Lave Holdcraft knocks down the three. But wherever they are, I talked to Dancy about it. Wherever we are, we're just gonna go for another state title. And we want to bring it up because Lone Peak looking for a three-peat. Full timeout to Coach Jensen. We apologize to do this again after just barely coming back. Full timeout. We'll be right back. You're watching Lone Peak Girls Basketball presented by Hanuware and hanuware.com. So 2:18 left in the third, and it's all Lone Peak. And you'd think it'd just be one player going off, and it's not. It's a whole roster of Lone Peak Knights as Tabby Clark hits the Junction J.
Nice to see that fall for her. She hasn't had a lot of open looks with Tanuvasa or Nordstrom all over her.
And she's got to deal with the big tree of Sarah Bartholomew.
Yep.
We got a new addition to the Lone Peak bench. There's now 4 jerseys on there. I don't know if it's just a JV player that didn't want to change. Kennedy's had that issue this year. She step back to her left and she goes down. Katie Lawrence. Lots of dribbling, nearly out of bounds off of Tabby Clark. Girls are so nice when they try to get officials to do. You're going to enjoy this summer coaching the girls.
It's going to be amazing.
Girls listen. They're emotional, but they actually they'll take coaching.
I hope they listen better than my kids. my 2 girls.
Oh, those are your girls.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
Trust me, my oldest daughter is getting better at swimming, and I've been telling her for a year now. 3 rounds, 3 sets of 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, and 20 now walking lunges every night. You know how many times she's done it? 2 nights.
It's 2 more than me.
The problem is she got her state times on a couple of events, but she's been telling me she's going to keep doing it. Is Woolston off on the 3, rebound to Olave Holdcraft, and we'll have a foul before the pass.
I love that Holdcraft and Zuri Nordstrom are getting a ton of time here because this is the future, right? You know, Lone Peak kind of went through a little bit of growing pains with a few new faces hitting the floor. I don't think Nancy Warner wants to go through that again next year.
Well, the good thing is you're going to keep Woolston. She's only a sophomore. Kennedy missed it. And I think the biggest thing for Kennedy was kind of learn. I don't know how real this is because Nancy's a really good coach, and I bring it up. She says it's not a big deal, but it's Kennedy being Kennedy, not trying to be Kaylee. Because her games they're similar, but they aren't. Is the threes up and lift out.
Yeah, they're different. And that's always hard, right? When you have a sibling and you get compared to the sibling in life and then again on the basketball court. So I like that Kennedy's, starting to play her own game and, she's doing well.
She is. The 3 missed by Lawrence. Gets it back after the offensive rebound to Holdcraft. Oh, and that was nice hands up top there by Lily Evans, but it doesn't get called for the foul.
Foul by number 2, Lily Evans. Her second personal, second team foul.
But yeah, my kids do cheer, so I'm a cheer dad.
Oh, mercy.
And it is different.
Yeah, I got a niece. I have a niece who's a double dribble.
Double dribble.
She actually is a competition PG cheer, I think it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they won whatever competition. My poor brother. It's like 6 hours. And the funny thing is, and I don't mean this isn't a knock, but I don't know what it is about cheer and drill. Their music's always way too loud, no matter what it is.
I think
we're
just getting older.
No. No. The funny thing is we go shoot a football video at Alta, and they were working on cheer.
Uh-huh.
It was blaring. Blaring. We had neighbors at Alta where it coming out, please turn it down. There's like a little bit.
That's funny. Now, that's a different world. It's cool. I mean, they're on some all-star cheer, and they are traveling all over the country.
Yeah.
And they're 9 years old and 6 years old.
You know, it's funny. We'll be seeing Mike Wilson still because his youngest is a cheerleader at corner. So timeout, end of the third, folks. It's 58
59
tonight. 58-19 at the end of the third quarter. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching Lone Peak Girls Basketball, presented by HanuWear.com.
Every day, you can make a choice to sit and wait or to get up and go. How do you get up and go?
The fourth quarter, Dusty Litster, Hector Marquez with you. It's Lone Peak Girls Basketball, presented by HanuWear.com. Lone Peak all over PG, 48 to 18, or 58 to 19. And Hector, I mean, there's not a lot more to break down. This has been an impressive night from Lone Peak. Their largest spread, I think, of the season.
And, you know, when the score is lopsided like this, you'd think, hey, let's pull our starters and let other people get in and get a shot. But Lone Peak just doesn't have a deep bench, so it's not a disrespect to anybody. That's who they have to roll with.
Hey, this is what we talked about in the first half. It's like, well, who would you like them to pull when you have 8 players on your varsity team?
Yep.
You know, this isn't football. You're not running 144 people out there. When I get it, PG's bench is loaded. That's how much you're going to carry and make them sit around to watch it. Is Kennedy Woolston knocks down her first 3 since the first quarter.
Wow. They haven't needed to shoot those threes. A lot of breakaway steals. I'm curious how many points Tanuvasa has.
She has 13.
Oh, there it is. Sometimes you just got to look up and your answer is right there in front of you.
I just want to make you think I just keep this all in my head like really, really sharply. I should have dispelled it.
Yeah, you're like, I remember exactly how many.
Everyone, I got them all memorized. It's all down. Here goes Shawnee Nordstrom chasing that one down. Shawnee, and one. Shawnee Nordstrom with 17, going to the line looking for point number 18. The clock will stop with the shot with the free throw.
So really great balanced scoring for Lone Peak across the board here.
And it is, and I think the last couple of years you'd had Kaylee, Shawnee, Ika would score a little bit, and you have a little bit chipped in from Tanuvasa. And now there's a lot more balance between the 4 or the 5 starters.
And that's what makes them tough to beat is you can't key on one player. If you lock up on everyone up top in the perimeter, Bartholomew is going to be on the island, and you do not want that.
Right.
But yeah, they just kind of got it going right now early.
Because the last 2 years it had been you had to deal with someone that shot nearly 60% from 3.
That's insane.
70% from the floor and 90% from the line.
That's insane.
That's what I had someone last year, and I love this. I had a very good evaluator. Said, I don't know what she does well. And I was like, well, I'll tell you next month. She gets to the next level, she's going to be a great teammate, and she's going to do what she does. And she's like, what's that? I said, she's going to shoot the ball is what she's going to do. She's going to space the floor, and she's going to knock it down, and then she'll do whatever her teammates want her to do.
And that's the thing, though. Like, you got to look at it differently. Like, if you look at a regular, traditional high school, the better players stand out. You look at teams like Wasatch Academy, everyone's averaging like 10 points a game. And this is kind of what you get from like a Lone Peak team, right?
Right.
Everyone just spreads the scoring around.
Well, you think that Wasatch Academy team that could have won the national championship in the COVID year, the highest average on the team was 12 points. What a finish there by Naya. And remind me where she's looking to go. She signed somewhere, didn't she? SUU or why am I blanking on where Naya's going?
I heard a rumor that she was going to end up at BYU.
Oh, that's a good rumor.
I
That's a great rumor. You let her play basketball and soccer? Is that what goes up and in?
I will not reveal my source.
Okay.
But that's what I heard. If they get her, wow.
It's a steal. Tabby Clark, back rim, got her own board. Will pull again. It hit the mid-range.
Naya, if you end up listening to this and I am wrong, find me on Insta. Let me know.
Yeah. I shared some recruiting news, and it was like, wait, who told you that? It was somebody reached out and said, well, you told me that. And they're just going to do a substitution timeout, I think.
Yeah, they're just trying to.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're pulling Tanavasa out.
But just been an impressive night tonight. Lone Peak girls will be back on Tuesday at Skyridge. Rematch of the state championship game and a rematch of the game earlier in the year. And I think Alex Napolis will be on the doubleheader that night. Alex Napolis will have the Lone Peak girls and boys game on Tuesday night. So you want to come back and check that one out. Always a fun night with Lone Peak and Skyridge. If you're tuning in for the boys game, that game starts in 20 minutes. So if you're tuning in to watch the Lone Peak versus Pleasant Grove boys, you're not watching an old game. I get that text to me a lot. You have an old game showing. No, it's a girls' game. So the game will start at 7:30. It'll be up in just a few moments after this one ends. And as always, the first showing, the first episode of the Kenzie Valentine show will come up at the conclusion of this one, where she'll interview a player of the game.
Eventually, there'll be KSL Rewind Classics that will just be streaming.
You know, we have the archive for that.
There you go.
We have over. I'd ask Vince. I bet we have over 3,000 games.
That's impressive.
Yeah, at a different time, a different place, we were doing 24 games a month at that point. We were doing 6 games a week. That was in football.
Wow.
And in basketball, we were about the same. Send that in to Bartholomew. No. And Sarah a little strong on that. During COVID, we actually did a bunch of videos going through some of our favorite games. And Randy McAllister was with us. We did a game when they snapped the Lone Peak winning streak, boys side.
Who was on that Lone Peak team?
The Lone Peak was Frank Jackson, TJ, Nick, Connor Toulson. Yeah, Connor Toulson was there.
Was Mika on that team?
No, it was after.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nick wasn't on that team then.
Okay.
So it was a state championship year it was when Lone Peak beat PG for the first time in the title game. They came back, got the revenge at University of Utah.
Yeah, Frank Jackson's over in France having a.
So Frank spent his time in the NBA, now getting some PT, and you've got him and Yoli Childs. Eric Mika's still doing his thing. Lovinger's still doing his thing. You see his championship game stuff?
I didn't.
Follow him on Instagram, and there's some amazing atmospheres over there. And he had a
in Europe, it's like a soccer stadium in a tiny little. Well, I guess it looks tiny because there's so many people there.
Amazing. We have a lot of guys from the state just tearing it up overseas. TJ, I think, is still hanging out in the G League. Last I remembered, anyway.
One of the cool things is you have these really standout high school, college kids. Some of them are still playing pro, and you get to see them here locally in the summer in the Powder League.
Right. That Powder League's fun.
It is.
It
is. I've had a chance to go up there a few times.
We streamed them one year.
Yeah. You know who's actually having a good year overseas? Blaze Neild.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That makes me happy. Blaze felt like he was in college forever. Like he got the 9th year, like that kid. I can't remember what it was. This guy announced he got his 9th year in football. The putback wouldn't go. We don't have a 4 on our roster, so I'm going to apologize right now. I don't have a 4. And I didn't hear the name announced. She's not played this year varsity-wise. The tough pass and turned over by Pleasant Grove. I would say the clock can continue to run.
It is Olivia Fotu.
Olivia Fotu.
Olivia Fotu.
Fotu name very well known in the Lone Peak world. Bunch of good football players. He's had a defensive back, Fotu. A 4-year starter for Coach Brockbank.
Are you ever amazed how some pockets in Utah produce so many outstanding athletes? Like Corner Canyon, the American Fork area, Lone Peak, obviously. It's Bingham. Even like Riverton's got all these baseball kids. It's impressive.
Riverton just had a bunch of, Zach Edwards and all those guys.
Yep.
And the fun part is I've been doing it long enough. I can remember most of them. There's some of these guys you don't see. Like, and then you have a rare Silver Selena.
Yeah.
And Silver went to Copper Hills, played football at Copper Hills, and still made it to the NFL and won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. I think they might have won 2.
I have a funny story about Zach Edwards over at Riverton.
Yeah.
So I used to work at his middle school, and I heard he was a good.
Yeah, big kid.
I heard he was a good baseball player, and I'm like, whatever. Everyone says they're good, and they're like, oh no, he's really good. He invited me to go watch him play at Juan Diego. So I show up to his game, and he's batting like second or third. And I said, let's go, Zach. He looks back at me, and he goes, I got you. Swings and misses. And then I said, hey, I thought you had me. He puts his helmet down a little bit, and he hits a bomb into the parking lot in left field. I'm like, okay, this kid's legit.
Cramblett Field at Juan Diego. There's a take and drive. Zuri, no. Final moments here. Again, the boys' game will be coming up next. We're going to have a pretty good hefty break. But Kenzie Valentine will be coming up next. As Kenzie's going to get ready to do a post-game interview. As that ball goes inside, can't get it. Rebound, put back up, no. And the board to Katie Lawrence, and that is going to do it here. As Lone Peak, absolutely dominant. Hector just got it going early on, and it never went away. As the final score, Lone Peak 73, Vikings 21. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the Kenzie Valentine postgame show right here on KSLSports.com. So welcome back in. Dusty Litster, Hector Marquez. Final score, Lone Peak 71, Pleasant Grove 21. And Hector, we said this a lot during the broadcast, but put it at the end, just a dominant performance. And we like to talk about offense, but it was a defense of Lone Peak that shut that game down.
And I think that's something to definitely be proud of when your defense can create that offense. And, as state's coming up, everyone's scouting everybody, and, Coach Warner can keep a lot of the stuff in the bag. But, yeah, their defense was just, whether it was zone or man, they were just relentless.
They were, and they were led by Shawnee Nordstrom at 17 points on the night. Leitana Vasa had 15 on the evening. That is a very good duo to get going at the end of the season.
The thing that Shawnee Nordstrom really brings is, you mentioned she does have long arms, and she's just a pest on the ball. She probably had 5 or 6 steals just on the ball.
All right, we're just waiting on Kenzie to show that post-game team. And for Pleasant Grove, they're going to have to bounce back a little bit, but, it's just one of those nights when you get a team like Lone Peak playing well. How about the state tournament coming up soon? I talked to Nancy Warner about this, about getting better, and she said, we just got to get it all together. It's about finding a rhythm, having confidence. They've always had it, but just getting it moving in the right direction. You can see that from Lone Peak. They're getting state tournament ready.
It is, and then, in games like this, you get other people more minutes. Holdcraft had some good minutes, rebounding, passing, shooting. Zuri Nordstrom had some really good passes, rebounds. So it's just nice to be able to get your rotation players extra minutes. I think Lone Peak got better. PG will go back in the lab and figure some things out, but that's a good team too. I think Pleasant Grove's got some good players. Tabby Clark will bounce back. Cook will bounce back.
We're just waiting for, I think Nancy may have forgotten we're going to do a post-game interview. They kind of all bolted, and Kenzie's waiting and said they'll be coming out. So we'll wait just a couple more seconds. We'll take one more break, and we'll bring it back while the Kenzie wrap up. Actually, let's go with our player of the game. Who's your selection of player of the game?
Ooh, I got to go duo. I got to go Nordstrom and Tanuvasa. They were just they built a wall by themselves in that zone at the top. They were racking up steals. They were hitting layups, making passes. So I got to go with that duo.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Is that they sorry, we're getting a little disjointed to try to get this in for Kenzie to get the interview. We start waiting for So anyway, Kenzie's just waiting for them to come out. So let's take one more quick break. So Hector and I are just talking through this whole thing. We'll be right back with Kenzie in the post-game interview here momentarily. We'll be right back. And welcome back in. Dusty Lister with you. Kenzie Valentine is down with our player of the game, and Shawnee Nordstrom. Go ahead, Kenzie.
I'm here with Shawnee Nordstrom after a win over Pleasant Grove. Shawnee, you played great tonight. How does it feel for you to play as well as you did?
It feels great. It's all because of my teammates and coaches. I mean, this is our type of basketball, so I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful to play with these type of girls.
You're in region play right now. Where do you see your team going for the rest of the season?
I think if we keep playing the way we are, like executing on offense, doing what coach is telling us, I think we can go just keep winning. So,
all right, Shawnee, great game. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Always good to see Shawnee Nordstrom, one of our absolute favorites. Again, our final score, Lone Peak 71, PG 21. Our Heinemann Associates players of the game, Shawnee Nordstrom and Naya Tandavasa. For Hector Marquez and Kenzie Valentine, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us and for watching KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of the Lone Peak girls basketball team, presented by HanuWear.com.